This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni, and you've tuned in to the heterosexual cavalcade of Uberswank. Stay tuned for a solid hour of awesome Canadian music right here on 93.5 CHMR-FM. Doot-doot-doot-doot. Now, see if I got the right microphone on. How about now?
Mic test.
There we go.
That's the one.
Competency.
A useful skill.
Yes. I are smart. This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni, joined here in studio by
Billy J.
to promote Gene Money 8.
Gene Money 8, that is. That's correct.
Yes.
The 8th installment of the semi-annual Gene Money shows at CBGG's. Shaping up to be the biggest and best one yet.
And if you're unfamiliar, that is 338A Water Street in lovely sunny St. John's, Newfoundland.
Indeed, indeed. Holdsworth Court. The notorious deck. I'm sure you all know it.
Yes. So, who have we got performing?
Oh, I've got a great group of performers this time.
I'll be the judge of that.
Well, let's see now. I have Paul Brace, Brittany James, Andrew Clark, Justin Quinton, Andrew Rice, and the Jockey Club, which is myself, Mark Crocker, Mark Diamond, and Mike Ball.
That's a lot of M's.
Isn't it?
Yes. So, that is on the 22nd?
Yes, it is. That's Monday, December 22nd. The doors are going to open at 7 p.m., and I'm going to start music at 8 p.m. sharp. As you just heard, I have a lot of performers, so get out there and get there early.
And that's $5 at the door?
It is indeed. $5 at the door. 19 plus, of course.
All proceeds going to the Gene Money Education Fund?
It is indeed. I'm just going to give you a little bit of background on why we do these shows. They started off, as I mentioned, this is Gene Money 8. So, obviously, the 8th installment that we've been doing. We do these semi-annually, usually on Christmas and on my friend Eugene Upshaw's birthday. They started as a way to honor a friend of mine, Eugene Upshaw. He was suffering with depression and sadly took his own life about 4 years ago. So grief-stricken, obviously, we tried to get together and use the healing power of music to try to get on through. So basically, these shows started as kind of a coping mechanism between myself and the people that I hold dear to me. And then they just evolved into this, again, semi-annual celebration of life, love, and friendship. So I always hoped by doing these events that, people get a chance to come down, people that you don't get to see too often get a chance to come back and just reconnect with each other.
That sounds like a good cause.
Mm-hmm. And the Gene Money Education Fund itself is an education fund that was set up for his dear nieces and nephew, people that I've become incredibly close with over the years. So we take a proceeds of what we make at the door. Obviously, we pay our musicians because musicians need to be paid people.
Yes.
And then we take the rest and we contribute that to their education fund.
Sounds good.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes. So, do you have a set time for anybody, or just music starts at 8 and whoever you put on?
Every hour on the hour, actually. They're going to be 45-minute sets, so it'll be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 1.
All right, so anyone wants to learn more about it, they have a Facebook group.
We do
called,
indeed.
Ironically, Gene Money 8.
Not hard to find people.
Yes. That's Gene as in Gene Splicing or Gene Hackman. Or,
or Eugene.
Not Gene as in Gene Shorts.
No, not that one.
Okay. That Gene Money 8 is a whole different event.
A totally different thing. I'm not affiliated with them in any way whatsoever.
So, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being had. Now I'll be playing some DOA from their album 13 Flavors of Doom. Doom! And this is Already Dead on 93.5 CHMR-FM.
That's in our head. Regrets? We're all gonna have them. But let me tell you a couple of things you'll never regret. You'll never regret spending extra time talking to your teenager. You'll never regret answering your 3-year-old's question about where the water in the bathtub comes from. Yeah, sure, we're all gonna have regrets, but talking too much with our kids won't be one of them.
No matter what you talk about, love is what they'll hear. A thought from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
That was Death Machine, as the whole repeating of Death Machine would suggest. This is Fabo Mark Jabroni. You're listening to the Cavalcade of Uberswank on 3.5 CHMR-FM. 13 Flavors of Doom is the 8th album from Canadian hardcore punk band DOA. It was released in 1992 on band member John Keithley's own record label, Sudden Death Records, and also in the UK on Alternative Tentacles. Man, if I had a nickel for every time I saw some Alternative Tentacles, I guess. In spite of its title, the album actually had 14 tracks, the last one not being numbered on the CD inlay. But it is actually written on the back of the CD, so Radio Shrug. So, while I look up a bit more information about the album and the band and all that kind of jazz, let's keep it rolling. Bombs Away on 93.5 CHMR-FM.
is the Native Americans talking. You're listening to the only alternative radio station, 93.5 CHMR. Don't miss it.
I really misjudged that one, didn't I?
There's something gone, nothing left, no faith. My head is dazed, twisted and confused. Everything seems crazed. Silent rain, wind and time have taken back their peace. I stand alongside the enemy.
Living Dead, DOA from their album 13 Flavors of Doom. This is Fanboy Mark Shabroni. You are listening to the Uberswank on 3.5 CHMR-FM. Now, for those of you who tuned in to listen to me and Billy talk about GENEMONEY 8, and who maybe stuck around to hear the rest of the show, thanks. Hope you're enjoying it. I don't normally play, well, not that I'd go out of my way not to play it normally either, but I don't normally play specifically this type of music. I just go into the CHMR library, look for something old and Canadian, say, excuse me, Anne-Marie, I need to get that CD that's behind you, and then I play just something from this time period right now, the early 90s, 91, 92, 93 is around about where I am in the library right now. I've played any number of varieties of music. I've played traditional local music. I've played jazz. I've loved the jazz I've found in there. I've played metal. I found Anvil in there. So that was something else. I found Voivod in there. I found Mishi Me. I played all these. Love every single thing. Just about every single thing. Just about, I'm going to specify. I did find some klezmer music as well, so I didn't love that quite so much, but anyway. I had a friend to talk to that day when I did that show, but that's neither here nor there. DOA is a hardcore punk band from Vancouver, British Columbia. They are often referred to as the founders of hardcore punk, along with Black Flag, The Germs, Negative Trend, and Middle Class. Their second album, Hardcore 81, was thought by many to have been the first actual reference to the second wave of the American punk sound as hardcore. Singer-guitarist Joey Keithley is the only founding member to have stayed in the band throughout its entire history. However, original bassist Randy Rampage has been active in the band in recent years and has played on one of the band's last 3 albums. Although he is not in the current lineup, DOA has often released music on Jello Biafra's Alternative Tentacles records, and they have released an album with Jello Biafra, am I saying that right? Titled Last Scream of the Missing Neighbors. DOA has always maintained an uncompromising leftist political stance. The band is known for its outspoken political opinions and has a history of performing for many causes and benefits. Its slogan is Talk minus Action equals Zero. The band has been active on many issues, including anti-racism, anti-globalization, freedom of speech, the environment, and macho jerks. You'll hear that in the song coming up later. I added that last part myself. Founder Joe Keithley now spends a great deal of time working with his record company, Sudden Death Records, which has branched off into many areas of music. So, rolling right along, I Played the Fool on 93.5 CHMR-FM.
Wow, 2 o'clock, yeah, the man was fast, but the liquor was quick to take all my cash. The bouncers threw me out like a ball of goulash. They said I played the fool. Last night, got a talent for trouble. I said, copyright. I put myself in the spotlight. I played the fool. I don't usually lose my cool, but this kid was acting like a real tool. I drove his car into a swimming pool. They said I was a fool. Last night, got a talent for trouble. I said, copyright. I put myself in the spotlight. I was a fool. Whoa, I am what I am, and that's all I am. And you know sometimes I just don't give a damn. The cops took me off to jail. I was thinking I'd land some kind of bail. The judge took a look and said, no sir. He said I was a fool. Last night got my town for trouble. I said, copyright. I put myself in the spotlight. Well, I was a fool. Wow. Some people say I'm kinda rude. Just depends on what you call rude. I guess I'm just one loudmouth dude. Say I was a fool. Last night got a town for trouble. I said, copyright. I put myself in the spotlight. Well, I was a fool. Whoa, I am what I am, and that's all I am. Let me go my way, even you got some kind of jam. I was a fool. Last night I got no case out. Stage right. I was drinking whiskey on a summer's night. Well, I was a fool. Last night driving through the lamplight. Well, I was a fool. Last night thought I was in a crossfight. Well, I was a fool. Last night I guess I was just a little bit tired. I was a fool. Last night.
Hello, I'm Ray Walsh. You're listening to 93.5 CHMR-FM in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Now
Goodbye. Do I want to know what's going on? That was from their album 13 Flavors of Doom. This is Fireball Mark Jabroni. You're listening to the... Okay, the Uberswank on Dial 315 CHMR-FM. So yeah, I didn't play the song that went between, and certain things up there was I Played the Fool. So I didn't play the song between I Played the Fool and Hole in the Sky, because of the word that is between two and heavy that I can't say on the radio. Reminds me of a CD that the production manager showed me a couple of years ago. Was in the library. Here, have a look at this. These guys actually sent us this CD and expected us to play it. I don't remember what precisely they were called, but it's along the lines of the Mother something-ers. And I looked at it and said, they sent this to us to play on the radio? Yep. Did they expect us to play this on the radio? Probably. Okay then. So, DOA was preceded by the Skulls, an early Vancouver area punk rock band that included future DOA members Joey Keithley, Brian Wimpy Roy Goebel, and Ken Dimwit Montgomery. Such names. When the Skulls broke up, Joey, on guitars and vocals, formed DOA with Dimwit's brother Chuck Biscuits on drums and Randy Rampage on bass and vocals. The band put out a few singles and EPs on Johnny's own Sudden Death label and toured North America, sometimes with violent clashes with audience members and police. Their early sound was very basic, raw, sing-along melodic punk rock, with a lot of similarity to early punk bands like the Sex Pistols and the early albums by The Clash and Ramones. In 1980, they added second guitarist Dave Craig and put out their full-length debut, Something Better Change, on Friends Records. About 15 or so years before that, Friends, so that's not what it was named after. This was followed quickly by Hardcore 81, which is often credited with being the namesake of the hardcore punk movement. The music, as well, had gotten faster and more powerful and dynamic, a blueprint of the emerging hardcore sound. Randy Rampage left the band in January 1st, 1982, to be replaced by ex-Skulls drummer Dimwit on bass. A drummer and a bass player? Okay. Well, he is only a bass player. It's not like it requires skill. Poor Andrew Carey. After a short tour of California, Chuck Biscuits left the band and joined Black Flag. Dimwit switched back to drums, and Subhumans singer Wimpy Roy was hired as the new bass player and second singer, leaving Keithley as the only remaining original member. This lineup would last from 1982 to 1983 and later 85 to 86 and produced several notable releases, including the EP War on 45, now expanded into a full-length album. War on 45 found the band expanding their sound with such as the funk and reggae, that ought to be interesting, as well as making their anti-war and anti-imperialist political stance more clear. 1985's Let's Wreck the Party and 87's True, in brackets, North, Strong and Free, saw the band taking on a more mainstream hard rock-oriented production, but without watering down the band's political lyrical focus. Meanwhile, the band's lineup changes and continued after Let's Wreck the Party, with Dimwit replaced by Care Beliveau, who stayed only 3 weeks with the band, but recorded the Expo Hurts Everyone 7-inch, as well as two songs on the True, North, Strong and Free, before being replaced by John Card from Personality Crisis. Dave Gregg quit in 1986 after DOA fired their manager, Ken Lester, to which he was very close. The band hired Chris Proham from the Dayglow Abortions as a replacement. Rolling right along. Hey, sister. 93.5 CHMR-FM.
It's the same old crowd. Got no excuse.
waking up on a Sunday morning can be an adventure, especially if you happen to overdo it the night before. If you wake up this Sunday morning with a bad taste in your mouth, no money in your wallet, and a pounding in your brain, chances are you're suffering from a hangover. Not to worry, CHMR has just what the doctor ordered. It's your perfect prescription of medicinal music lovingly mixed to help ease the most wretched of post-Saturday night overindulgences. It's the Sunday morning hangover cure with your host, Terry Parsons. Every Sunday, 10 a.m. and only on 93.5 CHMR-FM.
Take it easy, take it slow.
Use your raincoat. In case you couldn't figure out from the oh-so-subtle placement of all those words what the song was called. This is Fatboy Mark Shabroni. You are listening to allocated Uberswank on 315 CHMR-FM. 1990's Murder featured raw or almost thrash metal production rather than their original basic punk sound. The same year also produced a collaboration with Dead Kennedy singer Jello Biafra with Last Scream and the Missing Neighbors. In August 1990, Joey decided he was breaking up DOA, but at the suggestion of promoter Dirk Dirksen, that's okay then, they did a farewell tour on the West Coast, playing their final show December 1st, 1990 at the Commodore in Vancouver. In 1991, they released a posthumous live album entitled Talk Minus Action Equals Zero, while Joey tried to become an actor. However, 19 months after DOA broke up, Joey and Wimpy Roy had reunited as DOA in the summer of 1992. Fellow Canadian punk rock veteran John Wright from No Means No suggested they hire Ken Jensen from Red Tide as the new drummer, which they did. The new lineup released an EP and 2 albums in the early 90s, 13 Flavors of Doom, which we're listening to right now, and Loggerheads. These albums found the band replacing the more hard rock-oriented sound of the 1980s with a return to the punk rock, although it was heavier, tighter brand of punk than their earlier work. These albums were produced by Wright, who has also played keyboards on the recordings. The band then added Ford Peer on guitar and vocals. Tragedy struck in 1995 when drummer Ken Jensen died in a house fire. The Ken Jensen Memorial single EP was released on Alternative Tentacles, including 2 tracks, each from DOA and Red Tide. With John Wright filling in on drums, their 9th full-length Black Spot was recorded. The album featured a more basic sing-along type punk rock sound that was reminiscent of the band's late 70s and early 80s output. The late 90s found the band's lineup in turmoil, with Wimpy Roy leaving the band after a decade and a half of service. Keith Lee experimented with different bassists and drummers, managing to release another album of basic hardcore punk rock style music with Festival of Atheists. In the early 2000s, the band had found a permanent drummer in the form of the great Baldini. In 2002, Keith Lee put out his first solo album, Beat Thrash, and original bassist Randy Rampage returned to the band after nearly 20 years for the Win the Battle album. However, the reunion did not last, with Rampage leaving the band again after the recording of the album to be replaced by Dan Yaremko. And rolled right along. Legalized Theft on 93.5 CHMR-FM.
Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/rayrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni. And subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni.
turned your house a prison wing. And you're the warden for that evil thing. To make your escape, there's nothing you won't pay. What was once an arduous task seems more like a holy thing. Cold sweat, runny eyes, short of breath, barely alive. Drag yourself to the very brink, sleep deprived, still can't think. You've no plan at all. Look how much you've aged. Never in on the outside world, fading in the cage. Cold sweat, runny eyes, short of breath, barely alive. Drag yourself to the very brink, sleep deprived, still can't think. Cold sweat, runny eyes, short of breath, barely alive. Day and night, melt in time. Torture's face is a baby's cry, baby's cry, baby's cry.
Rosemary's Baby from DOA's album 13 Flavors of Doom. This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni, and it's probably just as well to leave it right there. I actually honestly didn't expect to get through this CD to get through the entire show, but I'm actually leaving 3 songs unplayed from the album, and it's only a 40-minute CD, so Radio Shrug. So, yeah, if you want to learn more about DOA, pop on over to their official MySpace page, myspace.com/DOApunk.
That's it for another show, kiddies. Check me out on Facebook, where you can keep track of all the news that's right on the mark, from around ringside to the latest concerts. See you at the shows. Later days.
This is 93.5 CHMR-FM.